Hello students, I am Mrs. Kavita Upadhyay, your English teacher. I welcome all the students of class 10 to today's English class. I hope you are excited to have a new learning experience today. Let us begin the lesson. This is unit composition that we are studying, and this part that we are going to start is part 2, in which we are going to deal with paragraph writing and describing words. We have already learned in the previous part, in part 1 of this unit, the meaning, forms and types of composition. Let me remind you that composition is a group of words or sentences which are put together to form a coherent and meaningful work. This is called composition. And there are 4 types of writing. They are narrative, descriptive, expository and argumentative. Some connectors and their use in writing. We use some connectors in our writing. In the last part, controlled composition, we attempted some controlled compositions also. Now students, objectives of today's lesson are to help you know the process of writing, to enhance your vocabulary with some describing words. Children, you know that some words are necessary to express yourself. So today we are going to give you some describing words to help you know what a paragraph is. Because this chapter is going to deal with paragraph writing, you must know what a paragraph is. This will be told to you today, and to use the knowledge of connectors, describing words and writing process to write paragraphs. You have learned some connectors in the last chapter, and describing words will be given to you, and the writing process will also be told to you today. And this will be used, all this knowledge will be used in writing paragraphs. Now, planning to write. Now children, if you start writing, you must first plan to write, and for planning you need to ask yourself, what am I writing and why am I writing this? These two things will give you a sense of purpose. You may be writing an article for a newspaper, you may be writing a letter to the editor, you may be writing some story to be published in your school magazine, or you may be writing a letter to your mother. So this gives you a sense of purpose to write. And then you should ask, who is supposed to read this? When you are writing something, it is supposed to be read by somebody. This will give you a sense of audience. You will know who you are writing for. Then prepare a mind map. What is mind map, children? Mind map is something that happens in your mind when you think about something. When you think about a topic, so many ideas pop up in your mind. Study that. Read what is happening in the mind, what you are thinking about, and then note it down. This is the mind map. Then follow coder rule. Children, there is a rule to write correctly, to write impressively, and that is called coder rule. We will learn coder rule. The writing process is C-O-D-E-R, coder. C stands for collect your ideas. The first thing is collecting your ideas. When you think about something, there are so many ideas that are coming to your mind. You just have to write them down. Maybe in a haphazard way, whatever comes to your mind, write them down. Prepare some kind of notes. They are not orderly. Then after collecting, you have to organize them, because composition has to be organized and cohesive. It should be related. Ideas should be related to each other. So organizing the ideas means what should come first, what should be taken afterwards, how to connect them like cause and effect, or chronologically, in whatever way you want to organize the ideas. O means organize. C means collect ideas, then O means organize them. Now organize them and write them in the form of notes, organized ones. Then D. D stands for draft. Draft means first draft. When you start writing after organizing the ideas, what you prepare is a rough draft. This draft is not final. Most of the students commit this mistake at this stage, that they think they have written and that is final. That is not final. You are in the middle of the process at this time. D means prepare the rough draft. After preparing the draft, you should not think that you are done with it. Instead, you should edit the draft, edit the rough draft. E means edit. Editing means reading it over and over again 2-3 times. You will find some mistakes, maybe in spelling, maybe in punctuation, or in grammar, or you may think that you should reorganize it. That means put some idea before the other idea, or put some new idea into it, or you may think that something that you have written is useless. It should not be included in the writing. You can delete it. That is editing the rough draft. After that comes the final draft. Revise the rough draft and prepare the final draft. That is R. R means revising. C means collecting. O means organizing. D means the first draft. E means edit. And R means revise the draft and prepare the final piece of writing. That is the best you can do. What is your chance of getting the best you can do is by following CODER coder rule completely. Okay? I hope you understand that. Now, before beginning to write paragraph, we should know what paragraph is. Paragraph usually comprises a group of sentences focusing on a single idea. This single idea is important, like why I like to travel or how games are useful for maintaining mental health. A paragraph usually comprises a group of sentences. Usually it consists of group of sentences. And these group of sentences focus on a single idea. In a paragraph, you should deal with one idea. You should not include 2 or 3 ideas in one paragraph. In the text also, you see paragraph changes with the idea. When idea changes, paragraph also changes. Example is how games are useful for maintaining mental health. Supposing you are writing an essay on importance of games in your life, and you think that I should include a paragraph on contribution of games in maintaining mental health. You can write a paragraph about this topic, and this should deal with contribution of games towards maintaining mental health only. No other thing should be included in it. In the same way, if you are writing an article about importance of traveling, then you may like to include a paragraph on why you like to travel. Then only your feelings, why you like it, should be dealt with in this paragraph, why I like travel. It consists of a topic sentence. What is the structure? It consists of a topic sentence. First thing, in the beginning, there should be a topic sentence, then few supporting sentences, few sentences to add to it, to contribute to explaining the idea, and then a concluding sentence. Then there should be a sentence in the end which concludes the idea. Okay? This is the structure: topic sentence, few supporting sentences, and then concluding sentence. Paragraph is a subdivision of a text separating ideas. Like if you are reading a text from your book, you can see that as the idea changes, the paragraph also changes. It is a subdivision of long text. Like an essay is divided into paragraphs. First paragraph is introduction. Then a body of the essay comprising a few paragraphs. There are few paragraphs dealing with different ideas in the body of the essay, and then in the end comes the conclusion. This again is a paragraph. Now students, here is a model paragraph for you. Benefits of taking sprouts. The topic is benefits of taking sprouts. Sprouts means germinated seeds, germinated grains that you have in breakfast. Sprouts should be an essential part of your breakfast. In spite of containing low calories, they are rich source of protein and vitamins and are easy to digest. As a result, they help you to grow, fight diseases, and keep yourself fit and light. I therefore suggest that you should ensure getting a portion of sprouts daily in your morning meal. Now look at the first sentence. Sprouts should be essential part of your breakfast. This is the topic sentence. This tells you what is the idea behind writing this paragraph? The idea is that sprouts should be included in breakfast. Then, in spite of containing low calories, we are telling the benefits of taking sprouts in 2 or 3 sentences. These are supporting sentences, which are supporting the idea expressed in the first line, the topic sentence. Then in the end, I therefore suggest, this is the last line, I therefore suggest that you should ensure getting a portion of sprouts daily in your morning meal. The conclusion is given in the form of a suggestion. And this conclusion is drawn from whatever is said before that. Okay? I hope you understand the structure of paragraph now. Now, let us check our progress. We have learnt about paragraph, what we have learned, to what extent we have learnt it. Now, children, you have to tell whether these statements are true or false. You can take out your notebook and write your answers. I am reading sentences for you. You can use this tick and cross for writing your answers, or you can write T or F, true or false, whatever you choose to. The first sentence is, in coder rule, D means draft. The first sentence is, in coder rule, D means draft. Second, before writing, we must know its purpose. Second sentence is, before we write, we must know its purpose. Third sentence is, a paragraph deals with 2 or more ideas. A paragraph deals with 2 or more ideas. Fourth is, a paragraph is a subdivision of text. A paragraph is a subdivision of text. Now, children, fifth sentence is, a paragraph does not begin with a topic sentence. A paragraph does not begin with a topic sentence. Sixth sentence is, a paragraph ends with a concluding sentence. A paragraph ends with a concluding sentence. Now, children, I hope you have written your answers. Let us check them. First sentence is, in coder rule, D means draft. You remember coder rule? C means collect your ideas. O means organize those ideas. D means prepare the rough draft. And D stands for draft, preparing the rough draft. E means editing the draft, and R means revising it and preparing the final draft. So, D stands for draft. D means draft. This is true. Second, before writing, we must know its purpose. Is it true? Yes, before writing, we must know what we are writing and why we are writing it. So, we must know its purpose. This is true. Third is, a paragraph deals with 2 or more ideas. Now, children, in definition of paragraph, I told you that it deals with a single idea. That means it does not deal with 2 or more ideas. So, this statement is false. A paragraph is a subdivision of text. Yes, it is true, because a long text is divided into paragraphs based on different ideas. It is true. Fifth sentence is, a paragraph does not begin with a topic sentence. It is false, because it begins with a topic sentence which is supported by some supporting sentences. Then a concluding sentence ends the paragraph. So this statement is false. And then the sixth one is, a paragraph ends with a concluding sentence. And this is true. I hope you have got all answers correct. Point out mistakes in this paragraph. I'm going to read a paragraph for you. Point out mistakes. My brother loves oranges. He likes to eat biscuits and pastries. Oranges are juicy and sweet. Biscuits are crisp. Orange is his favorite. It is rich in vitamin C. He likes ripe and sweet oranges. He plucks them from our grandfather's garden. My father also likes oranges. What are the mistakes? In the structure of paragraph, I told you first thing should be a topic sentence, then some supporting sentences, and then a concluding sentence. And the paragraph should deal with a single idea. Is this paragraph dealing with a single idea? My brother loves oranges. This is the topic sentence that the person has taken. But in the middle, he talks about biscuits and pastries also. Then he says biscuits are crisp. Okay, these two things are superfluous. They should not have been included in this paragraph. Then the concluding sentence, my father also likes oranges, is not correct. This should have been included here. My brother and my father love oranges. This is not the concluding sentence. So here is some problem with the structure and the idea. Number of ideas included in the paragraph is more than one. So these are mistakes in the paragraph. Now we come to the vocabulary part. Vocabulary is very essential to enable you to write. If you don't have word power, you won't be able to express yourself effectively. So let us see what is in the vocabulary section today. Now children, today we are going to learn some describing words which will help you describe a person. The first thing that you describe about a person is his or her physical build. He can be tall, short, fat, flabby. Fat and flabby mean the same. Slim, medium. Medium means neither fat nor slim. Athletic, muscular, stout, hefty. Athletic and muscular mean almost similar. It is a well-exercised physique. Stout and hefty are towards the heavier side. Now, to describe face, we can say it is round, it is long, it is squarish, it is square, triangular, or oval. Then eyes. To describe eyes, we can say they're cross-eyed, twinkling, sparkling, dull, bright. Dull and bright are opposite. Sharp, dark. Then hair. To describe the hair of a person, we can say long, short, close cropped. Close cropped means cut very short. Curly, straight. Curly and straight are opposite. Frizzy. Frizzy means rough and not straight. Silky, thick, thin, and rough. And to describe the nose of a person, we can say it is fat, it is thin. Roman. Roman means a well-shaped nose. Flat, bumpy. Bumpy is not so well-shaped, uneven. And then upturned. Upturned is high nose. Then dress of the person. When you are describing the dress of a person, it can be clean, it can be smart, and if it is not smart and clean, it is shabby. Tattered, tattered means torn. Short, long, western or traditional, loose or tight. Personality of a person. It can be pleasant or gloomy. These are opposite. Proud, haughty mean the same. If a person is proud, he can also be called haughty. Humble is the opposite of proud and haughty. The person who is not proud is haughty. Obstinate and stubborn mean the same. They are not obedient. Obedient is the opposite of obstinate and stubborn. Clever, intelligent, foolish, dull, soft-spoken, harsh. Soft-spoken and harsh mean the opposite. Indifferent. Indifferent is a person who is not interested, who does not show any interest. And concerned is a person who is interested. Caring. Cruel and kind are opposite. Merciful. Merciful is a person who is kind. Generous. Cheerful and sad are opposites. Determined and fickle. Determined mind means the person who is resolute. Once he has decided, he devotes himself to it wholeheartedly. Then fickle is the person who is not stable in mind. Places. Lush. Lush means something that is superior. Barren. Barren means infertile, where nothing grows. Green, fertile, rich, populous. Populous is a place where people live. Deserted. Deserted means the place which is uncared for and the people are not living there. Hilly, plain, damp. Damp means wet. Marshy, suffocating. Suffocating means lack of fresh air. And stuffy also means the same. Airy, clean, and dirty. These can be places. I hope you have understood and noted down these words for describing dress, personality, and places. Now we come to the writing part, paragraph writing. Let us see which paragraph we are going to write first. Situation 1 is you went to market with your friend Amrita, where she got lost. What would you do? You would call the police. Write a paragraph describing her appearance to help police find her. The police wants you to write a paragraph describing her appearance so that it will be easy for them to find her. So first thing before writing, you should be clear about this purpose of writing. Ask, why am I writing? You should have a purpose. The purpose is to describe your friend, so that police finds it easy to spot her, to find her. And then who will read it? The audiences, the police. Prepare a mind map. Now close your eyes. Think about a friend. Prepare a mind map. Mind map means note the dress he or she is wearing, her hair, her face, the figure and nose. Every description you should first imagine. I have imagined about my friend. You imagine about yours. Okay? That done. Let us proceed. Start writing following Coder rule. C-O-D-E-R, Coder rule. Collect your ideas. These are ideas which I have collected about my friend. Not yours. You have to write it for yourself about your friend. These are ideas about my friend. Brown eyes, tall, slim, red salwar suit, hair shoulder length, oval face, dark complexion, ponytail, thin lips, small and flat nose, black slippers, a mole on the forehead, and 14-year-old. Now, these are the things which I have written about my friend. Whatever came to my mind, this is not organized. These are just ideas which I have collected. See, I started with brown eyes. And then hair, I wrote hair is shoulder length. Then I write ponytail here. These should be connected because these two information are about her hair. So this is not organized. In the same way, when you write information about your friend, that will also not be organized. This is just the collection of ideas. C. C means collect your ideas. Next, what we will do? C-O. O means organize ideas. Organizing the ideas means give them a correct order. You are describing, purpose is describing her to police, to find her. So if police wants to find her, what are they looking for? They are looking for a girl. She is 14 and her build, physical build, her dress. These are the things that they will first spot. Then they will look for the minute details. So the details will be organized from gross to minute details. Okay? Gross to minute details. Figure, tall, slim, complexion dark. Dress, a red salwar suit and black slippers. Name and age, Amrita, 14. Facial features, oval face, shoulder length hair, tied in a ponytail, big brown eyes, thin lips, small flat nose, identification mark, a black mole on the forehead. So what I have done, first figure, dress, name and age, facial features come after name and age and all the gross features. Then identification mark, that is very important. It will be put in the end. Now we come to D. D means draft. Prepare the rough draft. Description of the missing girl. This is the heading. And start as a tall, slim, dark complexioned girl named Amrita has gone missing. Her age is approximately 14 and you can continue writing like that. Edit the first draft. Check the draft. If there are any mistakes, edit it. Find out if there are mistakes, correct them and prepare the revised final draft. And that is the final draft which is ready to be handed over to the police. Next situation is you have just seen the biggest lockdown in the world history due to COVID-19 pandemic. Write a paragraph on the effect of lockdown on Mother Nature. There was little of human activity these days, so nature got time to revive. The pollution was gone. You must have heard so many things about nature. Collect your ideas. My ideas are here. You collect yours. People staying home, stars seen clearly, few vehicles, no industrial waste flowing into rivers, Air clean, cities cleaner than before, the Himalayas seen from far off places, animals roaming around without fear, rivers sparkling clean, more birds chirping and flying in the sky, no smoke from chimneys. These are my ideas. You can collect more ideas of yours and some different ideas, then organize your ideas, prepare the first draft, which may begin like this. In my view, one of the positives that have come out of lockdown is its effect on Mother Nature. And you can write few lines in support of your idea, then concluding sentence, edit the first draft, edit it and prepare the final draft. After editing, finding out mistakes, correcting them, and then preparing the final draft is the last step. Write a paragraph telling why you like Sundays. This is the next question. Every child likes Sunday, but what is the reason behind that? Imagine a child whose parents are working. He does not find time to spend with his parents, but Sunday is the day when they are together. How will he write? Sunday is my favorite day of a week. This is the day when my parents are with me. We enjoy. Now, collect your ideas, organize them, and write what things we enjoy together during the day. Then, in other words, the concluding line is, in other words, it's the company of my parents that makes Sundays so special for me. So this is the title line. This is the concluding line. You can fill in between the supporting lines and the paragraph will be complete. But don't stray away from the idea. That is, you have to write about Sunday only. Okay? Now, today we have learned the writing process, how to write a coherent and meaningful paragraph following coda rule. You know coda rule, describing words and their use, using connectors and describing words in our writing. Today's assignment is read the lesson The Enchanted Pool from your textbook and note how it is divided into paragraphs. You have to note how the idea changes with the change in paragraph. As you read, pick out connectors and describing words and use them in the sentences of your own. Good luck for your assignment.